Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's D-Ribz again at the Bag to Port podcast. I have a special cast, well, not a cast, but a cast itself we have today, which is PC veteran who's dipping his toes into the console variant, an anime and weeb culture aficionado with almost 5,000 YouTube subscribers and counting, to be honest, and having both of these is probably going to be useful for getting over 10 shortly. Rei Yukihyo. How are you doing?
Hello, yeah, I'm Rei. From PC mainly, trying out Legends and figured, I do like it here. Currently a little bit more than PC, but yeah, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Cool. So why are you looking at the console variant by comparison to PC? This will be factoring into some of our questions later, but I thought I'd just have a quick conversation with you and see where your mind is with it. Why come to console?
I'm pretty sure a lot of people who plays Legends has frequently looked at what the PC port is doing, and a lot of people should know that there are submarines and pretty insane ships over there, not just carriers, but also just the amount of overmatch or just super ships being added recently. Figured might as well try Legends that has been trying to steer away from all of those things and trying to keep it like a vanilla style of Warships. And honestly, it's a lot more fun. It's a lot more bearable over here than it is on PC, because it's just, I don't want to say that they're ignoring the feedback, but it definitely feels that way at times on PC, a lot more than what I'm noticing here on Legends. But I could be wrong for Legends as well, but hopefully not.
Do you think it's more because of the size of the player base? Because obviously PC has been going for some time, and console is still relatively new. It's 4 years and 3 months in or something if you discount the alpha. Do you think that the amount of players dictate the norm as to what is appropriate, what goals they should be going towards, i.e. super ships or other things, submarines?
I feel like it being a 12v12 format compared to Legends 9v9 format is definitely an impact on the outcome of what the higher ups are deciding to do. But I don't really think that I don't really think that that's going to be playing too much into what they're going to be adding in, because lately on PC it's just endless ships being released nonstop every single patch, and it's a lot of monetization, and I don't think that 12v12 is going to really affect the them adding stuff like that, like the carriers and submarines and super ships. It's just, what can they do to make the game more different every patch, and to keep the players coming back. But for Legends 9v9, I mean, it seems like they've been doing fine for 4 years now.
Yeah, it's more of an arcade setting. It's a bit quicker, I guess, and I've played both sides, not to a high tier on the PC side, but certainly on the console side I have. But it does seem everything's a lot faster paced. What are your experiences with starting games? What are your experiences during games? Is there anything that you have picked up on that is quite different?
Comparing the Legends and PC, yeah, definitely it is much faster on Legends. Average games can be roughly between 5 to like 10 minutes, and breaking the 10-minute point can be considered a longer game. Meanwhile, PC frequently it usually lasts from 10 to even the full 20-minute duration of the match. Action, it's way more action packed because spawns are closer. The maps are sometimes cut on the console version, so that has been I would say the biggest struggle for me, trying to adapt to the console variant, even though I have experience and knowledge from the PC port, my positioning and all that kind of stuff. But on Legends, it's like I find myself struggling quite a bit because of the spawns, and it's like islands are the island positioning is way different over here. A lot of people sit bow in, and that is what I've noticed that is, I would say, is my weakness, because I usually just end up in a kiting position because of how we usually do it on PC, trying to last the game, trying to let the game last out a little bit longer. But on Legends, it just seems like everyone is just full sending it at the start, or just taking really aggressive positioning. So that's been the biggest mountain for me to overcome.
It's the mission statement of World of Warships Legends. It's literally YOLO. But
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
What I would expect you would find is that the demographic is similar. However, you'll probably experience more younger people in the console variant, just because consoles are a bit more accessible, I guess.
Yeah.
Usually, you would expect the majority of households to have one, and it's a free-to-play game. You would expect someone to get involved in it, even if you don't have an interest in ships or anime. So anime is obviously a big part of this game, and I know that you're a fan yourself, as I said in the effective title to this. Do you well, there was actually a question from one of your community members in regards to it, and it was I don't think you wanted to answer this one, but it was in regards to Azur Lane, and obviously there's been a variety of different anime that has been brought into both games, but from Azur Lane, which is your favorite ship, and in parentheses ship girl, because I appreciate they are modeled after females. So what would your favorite be?
The favorite is probably gonna have to be IJN Shinano. Both historically and in Azur Lane. It's been one of the ships that I've been asking on the PC's CC Discord for a very long time, and it's a running joke where if anyone brings up the name Shinano or spells it out closely, they would add 1 month of delay to her release or to her announcement. So that's been the running joke. Sometimes people on Legends Discord can also see that, mainly with the staff, because they all know that inside joke. But it's definitely going to be Shinano because historically she was this massive carrier that no one knew of outside of Japan, and her just showing up like that. Of course, her surface was a bit questionable, and the outcome of what happened to her, but just the thought of this massive carrier that no one has ever seen before or heard of, the third Yamato class carrier or battleship that's been switched over to a carrier, and then in game, they in Azur Lane, she kept the theme of like a fox theme, so that was that was pretty good. I really liked their variant of that.
I'm not so sure on the Azur Lane side, because I've never seen it. I enjoy everything that's in the games, the visuals, the different colors and that kind of thing, and definitely not the girls. But what I do like is the history of it, and Shinano, which was the carrier that actually made it to sea, but didn't have too much of a good trial. And what I found most interesting about that was the entire crew that was saved, or the ones that didn't go down with the ship, had to be in isolation for the entirety of the rest of the war on a specific coastline to avoid anyone else getting any information about it, because they didn't want anyone to know that they'd lost, which was a weird fact that I found out recently on an infomercial. Anyway, so I have a couple of other questions. Mainly, well, I'm going to start out with PC variant to console, then link into World of Warships and what you're making out of that. And this is primarily yours and the Back to Port community's questions, or your Discord servers at least. So there is someone on yours, I believe, called Amazing. I don't know if you know them too well, but they want to know what part of the gameplay loop in WoW's PC/Legends do you find that resonates with you most?
Ooh, let's see. I wonder if they're asking something like, what is it that clicks for me, or why did I?
It sounds like the continuation. What keeps you coming back to both of them?
Okay. I would say a very big drive. Well, I would say maybe like 60% of the motivation comes from just content creation. I do have fun with content creating, just recording or streaming even, and having a community that comes back to watch me and support me. That's definitely like a big part of the whole reason why I'm still playing PC, and they actually came over to Legends as well. I'll say the other half is probably going to be just, well, it's just something that I'm I would say I spend already so much time into, and I'm generally the type who sticks to one thing, this being Warships. I just spent so much time into it, and so much, I have so much history with the game and the company. So I just something about it just makes me come back, because other games that are rising right now, like some battle royale or some MOBA game on PC, I'm not really too fond of it because of just how I'll say how toxic the community has become. But obviously Warships community is no different. There's some toxic players in there as well, but I'll say it's just a community, really. The people, the friends that I've made and the friends that I play with, people who support me, people who try to help me out in Legends community now. Whenever I ask a question, they try to help me out, and we have fun together. Yeah, it's definitely going to be content creation and community for the most part.
Okay, well, a follow up to that then. Two things branching off it. Content creation. How did you get into it, and also what is your previous relationship with wargaming?
I would say my history with content creation, before I made this Twitch channel and YouTube channel, I actually had a previous one where I did mainly of Kentai Collection, which is another ship girl game.
Aware, yeah.
Yeah,
I shouldn't be aware, but I am.
Yeah, that's like the original that everyone knows. All the big Azure Lane people, they all know about. And unfortunately, Kentai Collection is only a browser-based game, and it's also only in Japan. There's some translating apps on there and stuff, but for the most part, it's mainly Japan-specific. And that's the game that I actually started out with. I was the people who were doing all the data mining, made videos and streamed it and such. I was one of those like frontliners for when a new event comes in. I just go ahead first without knowing anything of what to expect. So a lot of people used to watch that kind of stuff. And then after Kentai Collection, I branched over to Azure Lane content creation. But the stuff happened with my old YouTube and Twitch account, so I kind of just deleted it, and then I just started World of Warships shortly after.
Okay. What about wargaming then? How did you get involved with them? Is there any direct connection with them, or?
There was an advertisement, on the website for Kentai Collection of where that online game is based in, on the same site, and it was actually featuring World of Warships back in like 2018, I think 2017, and I decided to try it out. And there was one wargaming staff that actually watched my content because he was also a weeb. He was playing Kentai Collection, and he and I were basically playing together for a while, and he was asking me about World of Warships and if I wanted to ever try it out, because he knows that I like carriers historically, and as well as in Kentai Collection I was just fanboying over all of the aircraft carriers that came out. So he's like, oh yeah, carriers over here. At the time it was mainly RTS, where you can control multiple squadrons at once, like up to 8 squadrons I believe, for the high tiers of carriers. So that really piqued my interest. So with that, I pretty much got started by a wargaming staff, slowly reeling me in, and I was playing with him for a while. And yeah, that's pretty much how I got going with WoWs.
Interesting. I mean, I do not have the same backstory. I didn't get in with the higher tier player initially. I saw it off the Mighty Jingles, as a lot of people did, and I still watch his stuff nowadays, but yeah, I to be honest, I prefer the console variant to the PC one. The PC one it's especially at the lower tiers like 5 and down, they don't feel fantastic, and you got bots in there and whatnot. But anyway, that's by the by. What's your favorite class? We might have already answered this in World of Warships. That's Elijah 2159 that's asked that question.
Okay. Let's see. In WoW's Legends.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, in WoW's Legends, I really wanted to try out. I really wanted to get the carriers grinded out, but I noticed how big of a grind that was, and the lower tier carriers really don't feel that good at all. So I kind of lost motivation in playing carriers in Legends. Like just I don't think I'm going to grind them ever. Probably not to my last class, but it's definitely going to be cruisers at the moment. just seeing what the crazy things that cruisers are on Legends is just kind of baffling, especially coming from PC, because a lot of their armor, and then the fact that they have a heal on tier 7, which on PC version, a lot of those ships don't have heals, and they deal with the tier 10, which is the two-tier difference. So it does get pretty suffering, but the tier 7s, Chistr'ta, for example, having a heal and a 30mm deck on Legends is just absurd. It's really baffling. So it's definitely going to be cruisers, yeah.
Interesting. I mean, there's probably quite a lot of the cruisers that you haven't been able to get because they were previously campaign ships who haven't come back. For example, the Mints C, the Wichita C, that kind of thing. But you can get something that's a similar variant, so you can kind of feel how good they are. It's definitely the dominant class, I would say, especially when you've got Helena, you are shooting it with a Marlborough or something, and you get 11 overpens, and you just like, where is your Citadel? How am I supposed to hurt you?
Yeah, the cruiser's just forcing the broadsides on a battleship, and wow, the cruiser's just raining down shells.
Yeah, and
non-stop, yeah.
An Albemarle side bouncing Yamato shells, and you're just like, gee, this is not right.
Oh wow, is that a thing?
That is a thing, yes.
Wow.
It isn't a thing that happens that often because it's got a 25mm nose, so generally it just straight through bang. But yeah, there is a lot in there that can surprise you, to say the least. Which you're still learning, you're still getting the mechanics sorted, and I'm sure you'll understand that as you continue to play. Now there was another question on carriers. Now Legends players do believe that carriers, especially in Legends, as well as PC, are overpowered. Now, given the fact you have experience on PC specifically with carriers, what's your opinion on the implementation of CVs in the console version? I know you've kind of touched on that.
It's definitely noticeable that the Legends staff have very good knowledge on how the carriers are being viewed and how they're being treated on the PC port. Coming to Legends, it was really shocking to hear that a lot of the carriers that I was so used to playing, they don't have the right equipment that they play on PC. For example, Japanese carriers, they have HE bombs instead of AP bombs, which immediately just changes their impact on the battle. Because AP bombs, obviously, like an AP shell Citadel, it reduces the amount of healing you can do. And another example is probably Kaga's dive bombing formation. She actually just starts like a slow descent dive down, kind of like how a skip bomber does it, instead of the usual dive bombing animation. So that makes it really easy for her to nail destroyers. Small, just small things like that. But also the biggest one's probably going to be they have only 2 squadrons. They don't have rocket squadrons, so they don't really have a consistent way to deal with destroyers. So it's like they've been really stripped of their identity from what it seems like. And they still have the old style carrier spotting where they can spot torpedoes, which is absurd in my opinion. And just the endless amount of spotting, because from what I've noticed, their fighter mechanics are very different over here. Like if the carrier dies or any ship dies, the fighter just continues flying around.
Yeah, like all planes
and
do.
the spotting, yeah, it's very strange.
That happens in real life,
Yeah, it's really strange. I mean, coming from PC, it's definitely different. It's something I'm not used to. I'm like, what is still spotting me? The carrier is dead or the ship is dead, and I notice there's a fighter there that's flying around out of being spotted. But yeah, it's definitely been dumbed down immensely compared to the PC port.
Do you think it's more to be a support function than a primary?
I believe it's, from what I'm seeing, because I don't have my first-hand experience with playing it at a higher tier. It definitely is what it seems like, playing as more of like a division style ship, or playing it as more of a supporting role. Because what it seems like, it's a smaller. The game is a smaller format, 9v9. The games are much quicker, which is already what carriers on PC struggle with even with all their 3 squadrons or more and their kit that they come with. Fast games are just going to be an issue for the current carriers. And the fact that carriers on Legends don't have a rocket squadron. They don't have their AP bombers for the Japanese. It's a much slower type of gameplay compared to the PC port. So I just feel like trying to just farm damage nonstop is not gonna be the way to go, unless you can, you know, somehow just land all your torpedoes on like a destroyer or something and affect the game that way. I feel like it'll be more of a division ship where you can force like a crossfire or perma spot someone to help your teammates out like that.
You see, that's the advice that you have found in a very short period of time in playing this game, where there's people who've been playing it for 4 years who are there just for the damage. It is so much more valuable for you to be in a position to spot for your entire team than to get deep laned immediately and be in zero position to help out anyone, including yourself. So, bit of good advice for the entire community there, especially the ones who like to play carriers. I've just realized I did not say the person's name who said that, so I'm going to try and pronounce it. It's Ectopuetos 07.
was that on the podcast server, I'm assuming?
I think it is, yeah.
Okay, all right.
EKPTWTOS 07. You get longer for me to say that to people, so people definitely know your name now. Anyway, I have another one which I didn't talk about, which was the Azulane. That was Choragon Lover. I believe that was one of your people. Next one is in relation to fleets, because that is a new integration that we have had. So obviously very similar to clans on PC. The only difference is that we have been waiting 4 years for it, and it has been a long time coming. Lots of people have been interested in seeing it. Now, I believe it's Prime 3170 again that says, do you think fleet battles will be similar to PC clan battles?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, like the clan battles and potentially the Legends version of King of the Sea. I feel like a lot of it is going to be similar, not only of how the formatting is going to be working, but also like the strategies that come from these players. It's definitely going to be interesting to see, but I can already tell there's going to be a lot of similarities with how the composition and the strats are going to be working out. Even though it is a very new feature, a lot of players that I've spoken to, they do play, or they have come from PC. They do have experience, and a lot of them are thinking of similar compositions that I can already just think about off the top of my head of what could be good, and what's going to be definitely just like the meta ships.
Yeah, there's going to be a list, and there's definitely going to be some ones that are blocked. I can guarantee that. But with regards to the general composition of the teams, obviously with the difference in size of team, do you think there will be even smaller teams here? You know, 5s to 7s, or you know, tournament-wise? I know that they have said that COTS is potentially available for Legends, but they'll probably want to make their own item. And I do also know that they have said that the majority of tournament will be created will be created by communities, which I'm assuming is the same for PC. Would you agree?
Yeah, for sure. That is honestly how King of the Sea started. It was all just community driven, and while Wargaming was just like in a way sponsoring that type of event, I feel like it's going to be the same here. Before Wargaming decided to buy out the name for King of the Sea, it was just all community driven, and then Wargaming was supporting them to do it. Yeah, so I feel like it's going to be just the same way.
I remember seeing it when they announced that they were going to purchase it, and yeah, I really hope that they have some kind of sponsored option for the Legend side as well, because I think it seems to be a growing player base. It does seem to have a lot of variety, and I would hope, especially with the new integration of fleets, the UI that they've put in, and I would hope that they use it to its potential. And if not, you know, the community have been ready for 4 years. They've been building for it, and I'm assuming that they will regardless. So if Wargaming wants to buy a new one, we might have one coming. Anyway, so next is it was a couple of my questions actually. Thoughts on smoke screens and minefields? You've recently done a video about it. I know that people will have likely watched it, but our Back to Port community might not have done. They will get a chance to obviously look at your YouTube channel. But what are your thoughts on the PC CVs that are getting smoke screens and minefields?
Oh boy, this is definitely, you know, the first thing that comes to mind of just thinking about smokescreen and the minefields. It's the carrier, the rework carriers that we have on PC and now in Legends. These are the type of tools that they should have come with, in my opinion. Instead of being just full strike attacking carriers, focus on damage farming, abusing the hell out of you know, the poor players out there that has 0 anti-air. It's definitely something I feel like they should have added in way back with the testing of rework carriers, because I feel like the carrier position just historically was a more supportive role, whether it's fighter coverage or just laying down smoke, or, you know, dealing with submarines, or, you know, stopping, mainly just zoning out like an area. I feel like that's more fitting for the not the carrier's like main focus, instead of going out there striking non-stop, not caring about the team, not spotting or anything like that. So definitely it should have been added in way back, but at the moment, because this is basically their first live testing phase, it's definitely a little too strong, especially the minefields. Like the fact that they drop over 300 for a single consumable charge is pretty absurd. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have watched Flamu's video showing a little destroyer trying to maneuver around that kind of minefield, but it's basically just creating your own crossfire for that minefield, because you can spot the ship that's trying to maneuver around those mines, and you can just have a ship just start shooting you, and you can't really do much about it. And then the smoke screen, which is, in my opinion, one of the most powerful tools to ever come into the game, because you have an on-demand smoke screen that you can deploy anywhere on the map, because it's a carrier, and you can really do some pretty cool things if you're in a division or try to team up with a random and try to make a play. I feel like smokescreen is definitely going to be really powerful.
Interesting. I mean, do you think that would translate onto to Legends? Do you think that they'll add it to the originals, or do you think they'll come up with specific classes or specific ships to do that? Because if you're looking at one team that has a strike version and one team that has a support version, I would always want to be on the strike team, especially with the arcade nature of it and how quickly things die. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was the ongoing like debate that ever since support carriers were announced on the PC port. Like, how are they going to treat the matchmaker? Like, the last thing that the players want is 2 carriers per team, especially at tier 8, tier 10, which is the highest tier over there, excluding super ships. And so if you're facing 2 carriers that are strike carriers, and then you have 2 support carriers on your team, it's going to be really one-sided. Definitely anyone would want to pick like a Soviet carrier that is just, you know, non-stop striking a ship over some carrier that can lay smoke. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
No, I get that. One thing that I do want to pick up on, specifically relating to PC, is the super ships aspect. Well, it's not really specific to PC because we do not have super ships in Legends, but I'm sure that will eventually come. But if I'm completely honest, I think it was pioneered on the console side, because they went from 1 to 7, that being 7 being your maximum, and the likes of Iowa and Wichita and whatnot being right at the top, and then immediately bringing out Legendary, which all come through the Bureau, which is obviously very different to how it works on PC, where you have to get every single Legendary unless you have the Stalingrad, which you can get on free XP. You have to wait a significant amount of time to make sure that you get it. So it's a free pass to the top, effectively. Do you see super ships being that different to Legendary, or do you see any differences or additional tiers being added to this game to factor in those super ships later on?
I feel like the addition to super ships, I feel like it is a bit different on PC than it is on Legends with the whole Bureau system. Like, definitely, if Legends were tried to add in, like, let's say Annapolis, which is the evolution of the Des Moines, you know, it has 4 turrets instead of 3, and it has that burst firing mode. if they were to add something like that, I feel like it'll definitely be something like instead of what legendary is 1-star, I feel like maybe it'll be like a 2-star legendary. But then even still, the games at legendary tier just seems pretty dead to begin with. So I feel like it'll be a while till they add in another tier for super ships to be added to Legends port. It's kind of hard to really speculate what is going to be happening with the super ships, but honestly, in my opinion, as a PC player, I don't think they're going to be adding them anytime soon, if ever. Because I feel like already legendary tier is already like just an empty wasteland to begin with. That's outside of like events and stuff.
So what tier is best for you? What do you think is the most competitive or enjoyable? Or
for Legends?
Yeah.
Currently, definitely tier 7. Because that's pretty much like the majority of the ships that I have are at tier 7. I have a few tier 8s, no legendary tiers, but legendary tier 7 seems the most fun. Because just how crazy some of the ships are over there. It just seems like, it feels like tier 7 over on Legends is tier 8 for PC. Most gimmicks, the most unique type of ships, all in one, all in the same place. Tier 8 is where I want to mainly sit in, tier 8 and legendary tier. But hearing all these things about like the whole currency and the credit gain just being so bad over there, it makes me want to think otherwise. But on PC, I've been mainly a player who only plays tier 10 in super ships. I never really touched tier 9 or tier 8 at all. I kind of want to do this thing on Legends, but yeah, hearing a lot of things about tier 8 and legendary tiers, so kind of slowly straying away from it.
Yeah, I mean, tier 8 specifically is, I think I've said this in every single podcast that I've been in ever since it was announced, but it's the Porsche Cayman. It is in between a 911 and a Boxster. Yeah. It has every reason to be there, but also it is exactly in the middle for no reason whatsoever. It's just confusing. It looks like it's gone for a market that wasn't there. So that's how I have always seen tier 8, because the health differences are minimal. The ships themselves are, some of them, for example, Petropavlovsk is not top tier, but yet is one of the better ones there. Tier 7, I agree, is definitely the most competitive and enjoyable. Yes, there is a lot of variety. They did focus a lot on tier 7s a long time ago, but since the addition of tier 8, they have kind of forgotten about tier 7, which is unfortunate. They do keep bringing in new lines, which is nice, but some tier 7 specific premiums I think are warranted at some point, even though over 50% of my ships, and I have 330, are tier 7. Anyway, yeah. So I'm going to go back a bit so that I can go into your life a bit more. And this, just specifically because of some photos that I've seen and things that have been talked about. Why do you love BMW so much?
I would say it's mainly, we do run a like a car center. We fix cars, mechanic, and also the bodywork and stuff. So I deal with a lot of cars daily. And growing up in a family that are all about cars, a lot of them have BMW and Mercedes-Benz, and I would say that it just kind of just grows on you. A lot of people, do bash on BMW for being overpriced, and the maintenance is really high. It breaks down frequently, check engine light every now and then. But it just grows on you, and my previous car, it was a BMW.
And now you have a BMW Z4, or?
yeah, I have the BMW Toyota Supra. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's a very attractive color, and there is a lot that you are doing to change it. And I'm assuming that you're going to keep that for a while and keep doing it up and making it annoy the neighbors a bit. Is that safe to say?
Oh yeah. There are laws in my state over here in the U.S. That kind of it's kind of not allowed to make that much noise, and also can't really go. My state really cares about the whole environment, and so having a check engine light on is not allowed over here.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so me being a vehicle inspector myself, I have to also abide by those rules. So I do my own inspections for my car, but there's no way for me to cheat the system as much as I want to. So I have to make sure it's not as, it's not loud, it's not breaking any laws.
So what you're saying is you don't have a button inside your car that opens a certain part of the exhaust to make it sound differently, no?
Oh no, there definitely is. I was talking about like I have to keep it definitely just quiet in the neighborhood. But when it goes on the highway, just full send it.
That's the best thing that you could have said. Anyway, another couple from your community who wanted to know what your life is outside of the wire was Benny. If you don't mind sharing, what are your hobbies outside of gaming, apart from cars?
Let's see. Outside of World of Warships and just gaming in general, it's got to be working on my car. Oh. That's probably definitely up there. Another thing is probably going to be the guitar. I used to play very frequently a while back, acoustic, electric. I used to play in a band and such, but wow. After a while, kind of just dropped it. But I do like to listen to those or like acoustic songs or acoustic covers.
Like fingerstyle or just
finger style or just a solo cover of it. Because I'm not much of a singer myself. But I just like to play along to the songs. I was self-taught, so just listening to the song and playing the notes that way. Also learning fingerstyle, that was also a big thing in my high school years. What else is there? Probably reading like light novels.
Oh yeah, I read somewhere that you recently got a few from the Steam store.
Yeah. Visual novels on the computer, which is basically like just a book that you read on the computer, which is like a game, in a way, a game format.
What are you reading at the moment then? What did you get?
Let's see here. Let me just open up my Steam folder.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
Nah, you're good. Probably I'm pretty sure that the weebs who follow the visual novel scene would know this. It's called Chaos. It's a Chaos series, Chaos Child and Chaos Head. Okay. It's like a mystery horror themed genre. I think that's really interesting. Some of the big ones in the past were called Higurashi. Pretty sure it's also a horror. I'm really into like mystery and horror kind of stuff. But every now and then, rom-com just for a joke and just to settle down with. It's definitely up there.
Rom-com like Chainsaw Man.
Oh yeah. Oh. Chainsaw Man was something else. But,
as soon as I saw the poster for that, I was like, yeah, this is going to be interesting. Anyway, so good to know about a bit more about yourself, but just a very slight amount more. This again is from one of your community, and they have a quite apt name for what you'll be describing. This is making good latte. What stuff do you order when you go to a cafe?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I know him. I actually met him. We actually went to New York City over the weekend.
This weekend, just gone.
Yeah. It was on Friday.
Oh,
yeah. So I got to meet him in person. Yeah, we actually went to Starbucks.
Oh, there you go.
And he knows about it, and he didn't really like he's from overseas in Asia, and this is like he never comes to America ever. This is like one of his first times, really. Okay. So this Starbucks in New York City was located inside of a hotel, right? But he didn't realize we could just walk in to the hotel and just order Starbucks like that. So he was shocked. But at a cafe, I would generally order something like bread, like a toast, with just regular coffee. I'm not really too much on the sweet side, so sometimes black, or just regular iced coffee, not too much sweetener in it. Well, that's generally what I order from cafes, like daily.
That's good of you to answer that question to the person you've already met. But they, the good thing is, I guess, they got to meet you in person and be on a variety of different things, such as Spotify and Apple Music and all that kind of stuff within a week. So
yeah, there you go.
It's a massive plus. Now, unfortunately, this brings to the end our Little John into finding out who Rei Yukihyo is. So whilst it's been an entertaining episode, we do have to call it at some point. So I'd like to thank Rei for coming on, speaking with us. I hope you enjoyed your first visit to Back to Port.
Oh yeah, it was definitely it was really fun. I do like it here. Yeah, thank you for having me.
More than happy to have you back. We also do live versions of this where multiple community contributors and the community themselves get involved and can discuss certain topics, especially around update days. So that is going to be relatively soon, I believe, but that will come out as a notification to the Discord shortly anyway. So I want to put a thank you out to our Patreons. We do constantly get support from them, and it is very useful. It helps us to continue doing what we're doing, even if the majority of the stuff we do is just for the good of the community. But yes, thank you to MyschicK, Yokosuka High School Marine Fleet is another one who goes by YMHSF, or Poi, as most people will know him by, and Sevenrottendays as well. Really thanks for everything that you do for us. Also, don't forget to check out the Discord at discord.gg/B2P. Our Patreon, which helps us support the channel and also gives you access to a whole new world of things, and also the merch store, which I've been told you can get mugs and clothes and possibly a pen. Don't definitely know that, but go and have a look and you'll be able to find out. Anyway, so I've been your host, D-Ribz. Thank you for stopping by as always, and thank you, Rei, for coming along.
Yeah, anytime. Thank you.
Right, see you in a bit. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.